CenterCal Properties was founded on a vision, a collaboration really between respected friends who knew that together they could create a new kind of property development company. Their mission was to create happiness and prosperity for themselves, their families, employees, and investors.
When Fred and I decided to start the company, it was all about creating quality in what we were doing, really being focused on community. It becomes a source of pride when you can take your family out to a project that we've built, and if you're a construction person or a leasing person or somebody who works on property management or marketing, we create places we can all be proud of, and that's really important to us as a company. We've got a great team of people, and I think the most important promise we can make is that we want to create a place where you can grow and you can advance your career, you can be excited about the work you're doing, and you can find purpose in what we're doing. And what's, I think, the incredible thing about being in the industry today is it's evolving and it's changing.
There's magic that happens at our projects, and people recognize that and they feel it. Nothing makes us prouder than to walk around one of our centers and see the community. I mean, that to me just gives me chills. That is building somebody's life. We love that part of what we do. I think the CenterCal way is, in my opinion, we work hard, we play hard, we like the people we work with. We have a company that supports our needs and supports how we get to that next level. And that's the most important thing.
CenterCal and I align so much is this passion for creating spaces and places that are the foundation of a community's shared experience. The common mission that people have, that you can gather people around, is what creates the vibrancy of a company, the lifeblood of a company. I think people get really excited about the work that we're doing because in the end it does make a difference. What Fred and John Paul have created is something really special. That commitment to having the willingness to sit down and talk to someone, to give them that extra time to feel like they're important, to make sure that they understand how they fit into the bigger picture.
The genuine desire to create an environment where people feel as though their voices can be heard. Their voices are valued, their opinions and their input are valued. The first and foremost thing for somebody coming to work for CenterCal would be that you get to work in a very refreshing, unconventional environment for a retail shopping center developer. It still very much feels in some respects like a family-owned business. It's exciting because I think it's on the cusp of an immense amount of growth. There is this genuine respect and connectivity amongst the team that I think you won't experience at other organisations. I very much value the people that I work with. They're smart, they're the best in the business, but most of all, they're passionate about what we do. And for me to surround yourself with people that are equally as passionate, that want to grow, there couldn't be a better environment to work in.
I think what you need is a heart, someplace that the community can benefit from, someplace that the community can be proud of. We think the measure of success is the amount of smiles we see in our projects every day.
Ask any CenterCal team member and they will tell you that the rewards are priceless and a community served is reward in itself. Employees commit to excellence and attention to detail in every aspect of the job. It's the CenterCal way, and it's the reason why we do what we do.
You did some research. Again, I'm Hugh Crawford. I'm the Director of Property Management, most notably the General Manager at the Village at Meridian. We couldn't be more prouder as a company to be doing business in the city of Meridian, in the Treasure Valley, and to be able to sponsor today's event. I can't believe that in October, we will be hosting our 10th anniversary celebration for the Village at Meridian. It seems only like yesterday that I and our marketing director would meet with various civic organizations, community groups, and give a presentation and show renderings of what CenterCal Properties promised they would build on the corner of Eagle and Fairview, and how that project would be the cornerstone of growth that would transform the future of Meridian and the entire Treasure Valley. And to be honest, we would sometimes get in the car after those presentations, look at each other and say, boy, I sure hope that CenterCal comes through, because what we just promised sounds almost too good to be true. Well, we were both new to CenterCal back then, and our experiences with other developers wasn't always as positive, and what may have been promised wasn't always what was delivered in the end. Well, here we are, 10 years later, and I'm sure we can all agree that CenterCal delivered on its promise. And then some. The CenterCal executive team fosters a culture that is a collaborative belief that we need to bring something special to the communities where we work and where we live. And CenterCal strives to deliver the very best in design, in architecture, the best restaurants, the best retailers, the best in landscaping, amenities, and services, and the best in marketing and community events. It's important to us that we create a gathering place where our community, our friends and family can come together, not only for their special days, but on their everydays. I can confidently say, as we continue to grow with the City of Meridian, CenterCal will continue to deliver the best, and I look forward to working together with you over the next 10 years as your neighbor at the Village at Meridian. We have come a long way together, and as Mayor Simison likes to say, while we've made great progress, there's still more to do. So with this, I would like to introduce our town's amazing leader, Mayor Robert Simison.
Thank you, Sean and Hugh. I appreciate the Chamber hosting this event and the Village at Meridian serving as the title sponsor. Before we get started, I wanted to acknowledge a few people today myself. First, you already heard them, but I'd like to say thank you to the Meridian City Council. I appreciate your tireless commitment as we do the work together for our community. I also want to say thank you to our local government partners, many of them that you heard were in the room today. For the partnerships that we have, working together is how we really make a difference in Meridian. And finally, I'm honored to have most of my family. I had a last minute cancel today, but it's great to have my wife, Jenny, Ryan, Natalie with us today. We've been on this journey together since the first time, and each of you means more to me than you know, so thank you for allowing me to do this job. I really appreciate it. It's hard to believe that I'm delivering my fourth State of the City address. The last several years have been some of the most rewarding and challenging as we have watched our country, state, and community evolve. In many ways, politics have taken center stage in all areas of our lives, whether we have wanted it to or not. During this time, we have seen our businesses redefine their future, our families reprioritize what is important, and Meridian continues to thrive. We survived a global pandemic where loved ones were lost. We saw lots of people buying and selling homes at historic rates and new people choosing to call Meridian home. We experienced ultra low unemployment, which had us all rethinking our work environment. Over the last 3 years, the city has continued to invest in the services we provide, and we have remained debt-free. We worked with existing companies as they grew and welcomed new ones as part of our community. And our local and state government partners brought facilities and services closer to where people live and have improved our transportation network as well. The state of our city has never been stronger. I can stand here today and confidently say that. Yet, I'm also looking at what's ahead, and I believe Meridian's best days are yet to come. We have achieved some great successes, and as you heard Hugh say, we have more to do. It's important that we all remember the vision we are trying to achieve. By 2035, Meridian will be the West's premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family. This is what your public servants are working towards every day in the things that they do. And while we often key in on the word premier at the city as it relates to the services, I want to touch on another word which to me really encompasses Meridian. That is family. Family makes our community stronger. Family is all about the people we have in our lives and our homes. It is the values we share which are built from faith. Family is also evolving as we see our community age with more retirees and grandparents moving to Meridian, which is helping us rethink what services are needed and provided or how our built environment looks. Family is also having jobs that pay higher wages and are close to where people live, allowing for employment choices in the home so that maybe both parents don't have to work. It is an evolving yet important word as we strive towards our vision in Meridian. Now, there are several elements guiding us along our way: our community look and feel, the economy, mobility, responsible growth. I'm going to cover these areas and a few others as they really encompass some of the major successes we have seen and where we have more to do. Let's start with our community look and feel. What do we want to feel first and foremost in Meridian? The answer is safe. And our residents feel just that according to our most recent city survey. Safety reflects our ability to address crime and how we integrate public safety into where we live, work, and go to school. It is about putting resources where they make sense and staying focused on issues when we know one pill can kill. It's about prioritizing prevention and education so we all know what to do in the case of a fire. We make it a priority for our police department to patrol in our neighborhoods and spend more time where our kids are, at schools. Last year, I talked about deploying more school resource officers so that we could have a dedicated presence in our elementary schools. We achieved that goal in January, and those officers are spending time getting to know our kids, teachers, and parents, which builds trust through community policing. Please join me in thanking the City Council, our police chief, West Ada School District, and everyone who rolled up their sleeves to make this happen quickly, and to those in the department who stepped into these SRO positions. We also added an additional resource to focus on substance abuse prevention programs. It's easy for me to stand here and tell you that I'm opposed to the legalization of marijuana in Idaho. But Kendall and Haley are leading the efforts of the Meridian Anti-Drug Coalition, and they are out there every day working to help make Meridian a drug-free community. By educating our youth, we can fight the impacts of drug abuse, and with the team focused on working with our prevention partners, it will ultimately help our state as we stand strong against the fight of substance use and abuse. What we know is that substance abuse and mental health are often linked, which is when the chief put the crisis intervention team in place in 2022 and asked for a mental health professional to be part of this group. It was a no-brainer. This was a pragmatic, common sense, and fiscally responsible solution to meet this rising need. Because getting the right source at the right time to the person in need free up our officers for patrol, and it's just plain smart. We want our residents to feel safe and cared for, especially when they are in that time of need. They want a person who can help them or their family member in the right way, and that is what the CIT team does. We also expanded our community risk reduction team in the fire department. Work is being done to help determine what some of our biggest risks in Meridian are so we can prioritize our prevention efforts. This will help change behaviors, which benefits us all. Now, while we have put these resources into the field already, we also have some great projects moving forward that will help us meet our safety expectations. 2 new fire stations will be ready to open later this year and staffed with Meridian firefighters. Adding these stations provides more support to the system as a whole and is a win for our growing community. Resources will be there where they're needed and provide additional assistance to calls when necessary. Please join me again to say thank you to the Meridian Rural Fire Protection District and the Chief and Department and the City Council for helping make this happen. As part of these stations coming online, we have worked with the Ada County paramedics who will be co-locating 2 ambulances at our fire stations to allow faster paramedic response in Meridian. It should also reduce the need for the construction of new separate EMS buildings. This is a tax savings for everyone in Ada County and common sense public policy, which is a win for all involved. With the new police precinct set to open as well, our officers will have more time to spend in neighborhoods as they operate out of the new facility and spend less time driving back to the main headquarters. It also provides more space for our growing department so they can spread out a little bit more and have a better environment to work in. And yes, you did hear correctly. We are growing as a department. Police officers want to work in Meridian thanks to the great leadership, amazing culture, and top-notch facilities. It's no mistake that Meridian stands behind its officers and public safety responders, and our community is a better place for it. As we grow, we do need to keep up with the public safety personnel. The budget that I delivered to City Council last week has funding for 6 additional patrol officers. These officers are necessary to keep our growing community safe. Switching gears, I know it's going to come to a shock as everyone, because everyone here's got an iPhone 1, but did you know technology has changed in the last 50 years? Well, what hasn't changed is our Opticom system that manages traffic at intersections for first responders. The system we have controls and changes lights at intersections to help police and fire vehicles get to calls faster. Soon, we will be utilizing the newest version of Opticom, which is no longer based upon the distance our vehicles are to an intersection. Rather, it will open up lights in advance to keep our vehicles moving quickly to their calls. In fact, according to Global Traffic Technologies, this will reduce travel time by 15% alone. When this is combined with updating our pre-alerting system in our fire stations, we are talking about saving minutes, not just seconds in response times. Additionally, we have heard from the charter schools in Meridian that they too would like to be part of our SRO program at their facilities. We support this effort and will work with them to find a way that makes sense from a cost, time, and resource model in order to partner with them to provide this enhanced service. While these items are being worked on, we need to be looking further into the future about what safety in Meridian looks like. This means we need to continue to invest in positions, practices, and policies to support community policing. We need to be advocating for a drug-free environment at the state level because we know that is where the threat will come from. We need to be evaluating what the future of EMS services are for the Meridian Fire Department and how they will be deployed without compromising fire response. These are big, important discussions for our city. Community and gathering spots are also an important part of the look and feel of Meridian. Last month, we were able to help celebrate the opening of the Meridian Library District's new Orchard Park branch. This beautiful new facility is helping fulfill the need for our residents to have places that allow the sharing of ideas, provide access to resources, and places and say that is safe. Public spaces are necessary as they are a shared resource for us all. And I appreciate that the Meridian Library is delivering on their commitment to the community of offering these additional services throughout the city of Meridian and the district that they serve. We are also seeing one of our gathering spots continue to evolve with the expansion of Discovery Park in South Meridian. Phase 2 is under construction. This $14.5 million project is 100% funded by impact fees from development. It will provide places for all generations to gather and recreate, as we add 37 acres of new amenities, including 3 softball fields, additional tennis and pickleball courts, a 3-acre bike park, ample parking, and more. So my son, Ryan, he's been taking up skateboarding recently, and I expect we will be spending time at the new skate park there, which promises to be one of the coolest in the Treasure Valley. All of this, yeah. Maybe Pork Chop can join us, Luke. All of this is planned along to open with the rest of Phase 2 next spring. Working in collaboration with the Western Ada Recreation District, we've also seen significant investment and improvements at the Municipal Lakeview Golf Club over the last few years, specifically with the irrigation system and new cart paths. Soon, we will get some shade on the back patio so this space can be used by those who want to enjoy the wonderful summer weather in Meridian, where right now, sometimes the sun is being down just a little too much. Right, Sean? I think we want to get it ready by a certain event you're having out there. And we aren't done with the golf course, Discovery Park, or the libraries. Discovery Park has phase 3 in the future, and there are additional improvements which are needed for Lakeview, from restrooms located on the course to updates in the clubhouse. These investments will help these assets to the standards we have for our parks and recreation facilities. And in case you haven't heard, the library is moving forward on the southern branch thanks to a public-private partnership with Brighton Corporation as part of their Pinnacle Planned Community. And I encourage you to say that fast 5 times. This is a big win, and we look forward to seeing this project come to fruition as services are expanded in South Meridian. And Bruce, that's just one more. We need to make sure we get through the process quickly because they have a time frame as well. Continuing with gathering spots, the need for a community center in Meridian has to be addressed. As a city, we must determine where the community center should be built and what amenities it will include. Work is underway, but big questions remain. Additionally, we need to collaborate with the YMCA to bring a facility to North Meridian. They are an important community partner as they demonstrated out with the new facility they opened up, Micron, the groundbreaking that opened yesterday, and they are invested in our community's success. Part of our vision is to create a vibrant community through the arts as well. This has included traffic box art wraps over the past 3 years and several new murals, the most recent at Meridian Pool and Tully Park. However, we also need to determine what the future of performing arts looks like in Meridian. If performing arts are what the community wants, we need to devise a plan for facilities. These are conversations we need to be having with our businesses, philanthropic partners, and local government agencies to see what makes sense. Finally, what would the community look and feel like without talking about the look? What we are seeing and moving towards in Meridian is a more vertical city in certain areas. Over the last few years, we have seen variances provide allowing buildings to be taller than the current zones allow for. In downtown, we put a minimum height standard in place for buildings other than single-family residential to help create the opportunity for vibrancy. There are certain parts of Meridian where additional height standards should apply, like in downtown, at the Village, and along the interstate. These are the areas that make sense. Now, we need to update our codes and align building heights to our building requirements, which connects construction types to height standards. This is common sense and is good policy. Growing vertically in strategic areas is how we can foster vibrancy in downtown and allow for more employment opportunities in targeted areas. We have made real progress in our community, look and feel, have some good things in the works, and there's more to do. Moving on to mobility. It's no surprise that mobility and transportation remain the biggest issue to our residents. They want to see roads widened and intersections improved to alleviate congestion. We have seen great strides over the last 3 years thanks to collaboration and have projects in the pipeline that will deliver on this expectation. The road improvements have been the result of working with our development partners to address needs such as Eagle Road and Chittenden Boulevard. The Ada County Highway District has also completed projects throughout the city and is committed to additional improvements along Usick, Eagle, Fairview, and Lake Hazel in the coming years. Not to be outdone, the Idaho Transportation Department is actively building Highway 16 in Western Meridian. Once completed, it will change how we move about our community and throughout the Treasure Valley. Our efforts to engage our partners to address these major needs have shown results, and we continue to work with them and appreciate their willingness to step up when challenges exist. We have also seen pathway investment from the city, ACHD, and the development community, with approximately 14 miles of new pathways built in the last 3 years. Many of these pathways have been done in partnership with new development projects and the widening of roadways. As part of this, the city has completed sections along the Creason Lateral and the trailhead at 10 Mile Road. We have also made investments in transit solutions. In 2021, we were able to add our veteran shuttle to our on-demand transit options. This dedicated service is available to veterans for transportation from Meridian down to the VA facility in Boise. And last year, Valley Regional Transit was finally able to launch the Route 30 bus service funded by the city that connects 10 Mile, our downtown, and the village together. Our residents who live in these areas now have a transportation choice for their commute or pleasure. This fall, we will finish the design of the Linda Road overpass, which means this project can move forward once funding is secured. I understand appraisals will begin soon for the necessary right-of-way. And I want to say thank you to the ACHD board and Commission President Pickering for helping include the funding for that purchase of right-of-way in the coming budget. ACHD will consider their budget this August, so I need everyone listen, or when you get up, to let the commission know this project has your support and how important it is to our community. We will also see additional road, sidewalk, and pathway improvements along Chinden and Lake Hazel roads. These will be completed soon thanks to our development partners. In fact, I was driving down Chinden last week and know that the asphalt is down, and I heard last night that the striping is nearly done, if not already. This is long overdue, but these public-private partnerships help further our goal of protecting our travelers. Particularly with Lake Hazel, it will complete a safe connection to the destination location at Discovery Park as we complete phase 2. Even still, there's more to do. We need to secure funding for the construction of the Linda Road overpass, and yet there are several other priorities we need to lock down funding for as it pertains to building out our transportation network. We have also engaged our partners to convert one of the last stop sign controlled rail crossings of Black Cat, and we need to be focused further down the road, or the rail corridor as the case may be, if we are going to find long-term transportation success. It is essential that the rail corridor that runs through downtown Meridian become a priority for the governor, the Idaho Transportation Department, and the legislature. By itself, it's too big for any one city or 2 counties to address. Rather, it needs the full weight and support of our state to secure the long-term opportunity this corridor has for the Treasure Valley. I'm dedicated to working with our partners in government and in industry. By doing so, we can meet the needs of existing businesses and transport people to the many employment and education centers in Meridian and throughout the valley along this asset. We also need to activate our federal delegation to help address challenges along Interstate 84. And it's great that we have a couple of them here, so happy to have them here to hear this. We know we have congestion in the Eagle and Meridian Road interchanges today, particularly due to the proximity of Overland Road, and then the lights at St. Luke's, which are impacted by ambulances and other emergency vehicles. This means we must explore better ways to meet people through these areas. We need slip ramps to help people avoid the intersections onto the interstate, or flyover ramps to help vehicles avoid contributing to congested areas at the intersections in the first place. These are meaningful long-term solutions that are good for our citizens, businesses, healthcare providers, and our transportation network. And when it helps to help moving people around our community, I believe our transit challenges can be addressed in ways other than just fixed route buses. We need to be looking towards autonomous on-demand transit service. These can be smaller vehicles that can enter our neighborhoods that don't require bus drivers, which, due to rising employment costs, can impact hours of operation for fixed route services. We have well-maintained roads thanks to ACHD and a grid network with lots of sunshine that makes this an ideal area for autonomous vehicles to operate. This is why we are looking at opportunities to collaborate with national automakers as we look for future transit opportunities in Meridian. Having a transportation network that can efficiently move people in, to, and through Meridian is essential, and so is being safe. This last year, we established an intersection and pedestrian safety task force to evaluate every intersection Meridian with a traffic light. We are looking for areas where improvements can be made to help our drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians safely navigate around town. The work is ongoing, but is already spurring change as we prioritize locations for more lighting, as well as lighting conversions to LED to help make the intersections brighter. We are also finding simple updates like ensuring fresh paint or removing overgrown vegetation. Having this group do the work has been invaluable as we look for ways to make the transportation network safer. While improvements are important, we also need to make sure we are doing what we can to change driving habits, such as reducing red light running, texting, speeding, and other dangerous driving behaviors. Our police department has been investing more time to address these behaviors and is partnering with other agencies in the process. This group provides a coordinated effort that will patrol traffic hotspots with focused attention. We have also been talking with the community looking for solutions. Our recent city survey highlighted traffic enforcement as one specific area to look at, and we have been talking with our businesses and residents who are willing to be part of the discussion as we look for additional ways to address the issues. I look forward to more thoughtful decisions from our drivers so we can stay safe, keep our traffic moving, and not see delays from crashes which could be avoided by driving more cautiously. I want to thank ITD for the work they are doing to repave Eagle Road. This effort, combined with the third lane added by CenterCal, is improving travel along this busy corridor. But now, while the work is occurring, it's the time to act and make changes to address the speed of travel. While I recognize this is a state highway that has had a city grow up around it, the fact is that everything evolves, and the state highway has to evolve as well and reflect the standards of the community. Engineered solutions are not always the best. I'm concerned that people will continue to try and travel at unreasonable speeds on the freshly paved road this summer due to a posted speed limit that isn't achievable during many times of the day. I look forward to continuing to work with IT on a reasonable solution and expect we will hear back from them soon on speed reductions. Together, we can ensure safety in a changing environment. Working with our partners, we have seen real success in the last 3 years. I'm committed to achieving goals that are underway and for our long-term success. When it comes to mobility, we have more to do. As you can see, we have a lot going on in our built environment, but our community is getting that look and feel and helping improve our transportation needs. Before I talk about our economy, I want to talk about the key that makes it all happen, our people. As you're all aware, it takes people to get the job done, and the city is no different. We are blessed to have top talented employees who bring our care values to you, the community, day in and day out. And while many of you often see our firefighters and police officers in action, there's so much more that our various teams do. I want to take a moment and share just one small highlight by watching this day in the life video from Dina over at the Water Division.
Ever wonder what a laboratory analyst does at the Wastewater Recovery Resource Facility at the City of Meridian? I'm Dina Smith. First, let's grab some safety glasses and come back with me. We perform a range of laboratory analysis using advanced instrumentation and data evaluation in the support of city's wastewater treatment facility. So what does that mean? Every day we analyze about 40 samples of water from the facility to test several things such as turbidity, phosphorus, pH, bacteria, ammonia, and much more. We also grab surface water samples from the 5 Mile Creek and the Boise River. We do this to ensure we are meeting regulatory IPDS compliance, a stringent wastewater requirement. It's also for process control, reclaimed water, and engineering studies, which requires the lab to be staffed 7 days a week. We make standards and reagents in-house. We also purchase verified check standards to verify our results are measuring correctly. Right now, I am making a digestion solution for TKNs. Here, I'm making some ammonia standards to calibrate the instrument. This is an FIA, flow injection analysis. This needle pulls samples through the channel so we can see how much ammonia is in each sample. When all the samples are analyzed, we then compile all the data into a report which is QC'd and then reported to Idaho Department of Environmental Quality. In total, we test about 1,100 samples a month. When I'm not here being a lab nerd, you can find me spending time with my husband Brian in the mountains riding our ATVs or enjoying the creek in the summer. I spend a lot of time with my kids and my grandkids, and I'm a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. Go Chiefs! This is what a day in the life of a laboratory analyst looks like. Thanks for nerding out with me.
Thank you, Dina, for sharing your story. You had me right up until the Chiefs comment, but that's a different story. All of the success of the city as we have worked toward being the premier city in the West goes to the extraordinary Team Meridian. Moving on to the aspect that impacts us all, the economy. Meridian has seen great economic success because we have an atmosphere and opportunities for our businesses to thrive. We have utilized the tools available to us, such as urban renewal districts, in order to help prioritize development and investment in Meridian. We've stayed open for business during hard times. We've kept policies consistent and provided unnecessary regulations to reduce the burden on businesses and homeowners. We have invested in resources to help navigate the development process. And we are proud partners with our chambers of commerce as we understand their success is all of our success. Our industrial parks and business parks have thrived over the last 3 years. 10 Mile Crossing, Eagle View Landing, Silverstone, and El Dorado have all expanded with new companies becoming part of their growing success. Here you'll find new businesses, including Kiln, Buckner, PillPack, and Top Golf. You'll also find growing businesses such as Lime Tree Labs, Capital 11, and Salzer Health. Success is not only in our business parks. We have seen new businesses and expansions pop up all throughout Meridian. Just go take a drive down Overland, Franklin, Eagle, or any other road and see the investment being made. Here, you can now find Costco, Vertical View Gym, and FedEx, to name a few. And just in the last few weeks, Terry Riley opened their new clinic, and Roaring Springs opened their expansion. Whether in targeted industries, the service sector, or any host of businesses, jobs are coming to Meridian. In fact, since 2020, there have been over 8,500 jobs that have been created, with average wage increasing more than 15%. That's phenomenal, and it goes all to your work. We have also seen success in our downtown with Keller & Associates, Mountain America, and Old Town Lofts completed. Vintage 61 Wine Bar and Kitchen and the 127 Loon have been renovated, providing new food and entertainment options. Downtown has definitely seen its share of investment and success. Unfortunately, the economy has impacted two downtown projects, Union 93 and the Civic Block. While we understand they are still working to move forward, they have met the impacts of the financial markets that many large development projects throughout the country have faced. We know both of the groups involved in these projects are doing what they can to advance them. Nonetheless, there are still great projects currently moving forward. Red Aspen is under construction on their new home across the street. Shields continues to build out their impressive facility. And of course, who can't wait for In-N-Out? You excited for that? I'm sure you are. Additionally, the Village at Meridian will be expanding with their next phase, which will include more shopping options and a new residential space known as the Bridge, completing the original vision and full build out along the west edge of their property. And we will soon see Loose Screw Brewing renovate a long vacant building in our downtown as they expand. This space will include a tap room, a brewery production facility, and private event space. And not to be outdone, we are excited to hear that healthcare services will be expanding too. St. Alphonsus has decided to announce the purchase of 18 acres located at Highway 16 in Chinden. This is in preparation to develop a new 60,000 square feet outpatient center. This location will support the needs of our growing population. North Meridian is anticipated to offer primary care, specialty services, and urgent care, bringing another facility to this area alongside West Valley's Medical Center's future emergency services. My point is there is a lot of commercial activity and services in Meridian that we should all be proud of. And yet we need to be looking at the larger picture if we are going to remain thriving for years to come. As we continue to grow, we need to do so in a way which brings jobs closer to where people live. We have truly seen success in Meridian in that area with our business parks off the interstate. It started way back with the Central Valley Business Park off of Meridian Road and has continued to Eagle and 10 Mile and throughout Meridian. These have all been a success for the first half of our city's development. But as we continue to grow, we need to make sure we are planning for the future employment areas in our community. Highway 16 is planned to connect with other state facilities such as Chinden and Interstate 84. But if we stop there, we are likely going to miss opportunities for South Meridian. I'm joining along with Mayor Clean, encouraging our partners to plan for an extension of Highway 16 further south, perhaps all the way to Cunamora Road. This means we, as a city, need to look at the area of Amity and McDermott as a future employment zone. And as we look at and plan for employment areas, we also need to continue to focus in our target industries, professional service, technology, advanced manufacturing, and other services are all growing areas. And in case you haven't noticed, much of our current and I believe future economy is also based around healthcare. We are seeing the healthcare industry become a larger driving force in our economy every day. My vision for Meridian includes becoming the healthcare epicenter for the state of Idaho for those who need care, are focused on finding the next medical breakthrough, and for the necessary educational opportunities of our future providers. You may have heard the ISU has purchased land to the north of ICOM, adjacent to the Idaho State Post facility. They have plans to expand their programs and develop a healthcare campus. In fact, ISU announced they will invest $5.3 million of newly appropriated state funds to move forward with their first steps. This initial property development includes funding for site work, testing, and underground infrastructure. Through future funding requests, it is anticipated to bring nearly 1 million square feet of building space for expanded education and research facilities and support environments. As a city, we need to review land use designations to plan accordingly for what this area will become with this investment. When we last updated the comprehensive plan, the area between St. Luke's on Eagle Road and ICOM and ISU on Locust Grove was designated as mixed-use neighborhood. We need to lay out a clear framework for a medical corridor in this area with land use and a road network that aligns with this vision. This is good public policy and good for our community. And considering our vision for 2035, another area to look at is tourism. By further embracing tourism, we can see the economic development that will help our hotels, restaurants, retailers, entertainment facilities, and more. We already have some pretty great draws currently, whether it's places like the Village, including their future restaurants and retail, or the Children's Museum, which broke ground on a new expansion funded by a $1 million donation from Cap Ed yesterday. You can spend a day at the largest water park in the Northwest that just saw a new expansion with the first Tip and Tater, or an evening at the Meridian Speedway, which we are working toward listing on the National Historic Registry. But there's more we should be looking at. We can establish an event that has a regional draw and look at opportunities that come with the facility funded by an auditorium district that would bring people into our community. This is part of our economic development future. So how do we get there? Much of it starts with updating our plans to reflect what we want and expect to see. I'm looking for your support as we engage with our state leaders to advance ISU's plans and ensure the highest and best use for land in the area. We need to see what type of events we can handle based on the facilities we have, and then find the right events, activities, and spaces that will draw people to Meridian. Last year, I spoke about the importance of moving forward on an auditorium district. I want you to please join me in saying thank you to Sean, the Meridian Chamber Board, the Working Committee, and those who provided funding for the feasible study to do just that. While work continues, a facility is an important part of creating a gathering spot for Meridian and can help generate economic success. We have a strong economy, and we want to keep it that way. So we have to make sure we have the right environment for the others to invest, and growing responsibly is key to that effort. What have we been able to accomplish over the last 3 years in responsible growth? First and foremost, our community has stated that they want growth to pay for growth. We have continued to utilize impact fees to achieve that outcome. In 2022, the city updated and approved those fees to better reflect the cost of development. We have also been clear with our development partners about where we would like to see growth occur. By creating 3 new urban rural districts and identifying growth priorities, we have done just that. This is good policy, which is fiscally responsible. And while infill is all in our downtown is always our #1 priority, if we work to keep growth in areas where we and our local government partners have or are applying to deploy resources, then that just makes good common sense. And you heard earlier about the efforts of our development community to get road improvements completed ahead of any planning. This is responsible growth. We continue to use tools such as urban renewal to get additional road and infrastructure improvements online through new projects. Now we are exploring tools like community infrastructure or local improvement districts to continue our practice of having growth pay for growth. Ultimately, responsible growth is working with our stakeholders and communicating our plans for growth. This also helps our partners like ACHD, the library, and school districts, and others as they plan their needs for our future. With investment planned by the city for the construction of the Canada Lift Station in 2025, this will open up the Fields District area for further development, continuing to extend the growth priority area further north and west. Starting in 2027, we will begin extending the McDermott Sewer Trunk Line until it reaches the south side of the interstate in 2031. Once extended and the lift station is built, then it will be up to the development community to pull the line further. With these investments from the city, we are encouraging development in our Northwest Priority Growth Area for the next 10 years. Once the McDermott Trunk Line starts heading south, it will begin to open up additional opportunities towards a completed Highway 16 and the county line. With the sewer line on the south side of the interstate, Southwest Meridian will then be able to develop further. Now, these are targets, and many things can impact the timeline and plans for each one of these next phases. But it's a start, and it's important for our residents to know, as well as our development partners, so they can plan accordingly. By doing this, we can be using tools to deliver needed infrastructure improvements. One thing I can guarantee you is that there is always more to do when it comes to growing responsibly in Meridian. That's why this year's budget request makes purposeful requests that will continue to meet the service level expectations from the public and our forward-facing departments as we grow. The budget includes meaningful resources for our support departments of information technology, human resources, and finance. It increases pathway connectivity and invests in more streetlights, which will improve the look and feel and make better mobility connections. The budget continues our deployment of Wi-Fi to parks, supports our needs for improving the quality of our water and meeting our permit requirements for wastewater, and takes care of our people. We are able to do this while keeping any property tax increase requests as minimal as possible in order to provide the necessary police officers needed for public safety. Folks, we all need to be engaged about our look and feel, the economy, our mobility, and responsible growth in order to have a thriving Meridian. And really, it is our people, our employees, our families, our businesses that make us special. But it all starts with our youth. I want to thank the Chamber for stepping up and providing a 5th youth scholarship to accommodate our outstanding students who are being recognized this year. Unlike other scholarships, this one is about giving back as much as anything else. The funds are awarded to youth who demonstrate evidence of leadership potential through their community involvement, as well as volunteerism, school activities, or work experience. Please join me in congratulating Hannah, Adeline, Nathan, Grace, and Miley, who are this year's recipients. I want to wish these individuals the best of luck as they graduate and as they go on to pursue their educational dreams, and more importantly, as they continue to influence the world. As the youth grow into the world, they didn't get there on their own. In fact, it likely took parents, teachers, youth group leaders, coaches, friends, and family. It takes dedicated and engaged mentors who invest their time and talents to help our kids mature into future leaders, which brings us to this year's Mayor's Legacy Award winners. Together, these two individuals have more than 35 years of combined experience of leading an organization where many kids first get their start in sports. They have been instrumental in helping Meridian PAL run programs like soccer, flag football, and baseball that have benefited our kids, mine included. They brought programming to our coaches, encouraged drug-free decisions, and been major partners with the City of Meridian in the development of Heroes Park. They have built an organization that has made a difference for generations of families. Please join me in congratulating Brian Simer and Mark Leitner as this year's Mayor's Legacy Award winners. That's it. Brian, come on up.
Well, thank you. This really is an honor, and it really touches my heart. So thank you for that, Mayor. And you know, Bob has been supportive of us, not just as mayor, but when he was chief of staff for Mayor Tammy as well. And I know Mayor Tammy's here. We also want to thank her. She is really the one that changed PAL from a sports organization to a civically minded organization. So thank you, Mayor Tammy. We appreciate you, and thank you, Bob. I also like to thank the City Council. Was that emphasized enough for you, Joe? Was that good enough? But we do appreciate them, because it's one thing to have a vision and it's one thing to have ideas and plans, but it really takes the City Council to help us put those together. So I thank the City Council and all the members here. Thank you very much. And Chief, of course, to the Meridian Police Department, whose name we proudly wear on our sleeves as well. And I'd like to thank Stacy Arnold. I know he's not here, but Stacy has been a great liaison between the PAL organization and the Meridian Police Department. He's been there for everything. Anytime I have issues with parking and traffic and unruly coaches and upset parents, Stacy's the guy that takes care of it for us. So we appreciate Stacy very much too. To the board of directors for PAL, there's been dozens and dozens over my 20 years at PAL. We thank them, the thousands of volunteers we've had with coaches and parents, all our committee members. We thank them, past and present. And of course, Park and Rec, Steve, thank you for everything. They're really the ones that are in the trenches, literally sometimes with us. And I thank Steve and his group, as well as Mike Barton. Mike is the one that has to deal with me on an occasion or two. And I've taught Mike where the ignore button is on his phone. And I can tell when he hits ignore because it goes right to the voicemail. But I appreciate Mike very much. I wish Mark Leitner were here with us today. We wouldn't be here without Mark. He truly was a leader for PAL. He left in December of 2022. And as much as I love PAL and I love to continue this, it's not the same without Mark. And we miss him, but I appreciate everything. And hopefully he's in Bozeman, Montana today. Hopefully he's watching this now, or he's going to be watching it a little bit later on. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Cheryl. For 30 years, she's put up with all my endeavors, all my projects with nationally, internationally with the Knights of Columbus, with the Meridian Police Activities League. 29 years ago, she talked me into moving to Idaho. And when I say talked me into it, she made me move to Idaho. But really, it's Cheryl that deserves all the credit for carving out a wonderful and rewarding life for us here in Idaho. So I thank you for that, Cheryl. And finally, I just thank all of you for your indulgence, and I wish you a pleasant afternoon. Thank you very much.
Like I said, we almost didn't have Brian. He was on the short list for getting called in for some jury duty stuff today. So I don't know if the commissioners somehow made that happen, but I appreciate him to be here. Well, since I'm in a thank you mood, I want to say thank you to our legislature. And yes, you did hear that right after a few of my speeches the last few years. But this past year, they took real and meaningful steps towards meeting the state's constitutional obligation to fund education, including school buildings. This helps reduce the need for local bonds and levies for facilities. House Bill 292 was a good first step, However, it is clear from the results of last month's failed levy that additional property taxes should not be the only way to support school facility needs in Meridian. We have tremendous schools thanks to the tireless work of all the West Ada District team, and yet a larger partnership is needed from the state to help fund facilities in West Ada and other communities around Idaho. I'm grateful for the start of this much needed change and implore our legislators to keep up the good work started this year by continuing to invest and reduce the property tax burden caused by funding schools with bonds and levies. So thank you. Because frankly, we want the legislature more focused on these Main Street issues such as education, as well as transportation and our local business needs. We want to discuss pragmatic policy solutions related to healthcare and spending time working together so that we have local control instead of more big government oversight. It is clear there's more to do in this area, and I'm here to support you in this effort. That being said, I'm frustrated with the vocal minority who are manufacturing social issues to create fear and division in our state and communities in an attempt to achieve political gain. This is eroding our society and detracts common sense people from serving our communities and needs to stop. What this is leading to is elections where people don't talk about ideas and goals, but rather party identifiers and buzzwords. We don't always have to agree, but we do need to be able to listen and be courteous to one another. This is how we have done it in Idaho, and I will not let that behavior change the values of the state and city I love. Meridian and Idaho are a welcoming place for people and families, as you heard Ton speak to. Those who have put down roots here did so because we have the quality of life and great services that people have asked for in a premier community. If we stay focused on what brought us here in the first place, then together we will continue to build a peaceful, just, and thriving Meridian, securing the future and legacy for every generation that follows us. Over the last 3 years, we have advanced construction of projects, saving money and deploying services sooner. We have continued our practice of saving before we spend, which means we are debt-free. We have brought police and fire personnel on by investing in the right positions when and where they make sense. We have collaborated with our development community and public agency partners, advancing transportation needs and meeting service expectations. We have used our tools, implementing a responsible growth strategy. These are common sense, fiscally responsible, pragmatic solutions which are improving the quality of life in Meridian. I am proud of the accomplishments that we have achieved together. As I look around me, I'm excited for the plans we have in place for the future. As I look ahead, I'm prepared for the work that needs to be done to meet our vision. There's more to do in Meridian, and I remain up for the challenge of leading our amazing employees and serving as your mayor. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mayor Simison. Really do appreciate the leadership that you provide our community. And congratulations to Brian Simmer and Mark Leitner on your recognition today. Thank you. I can also apologize to those viewers online. Sorry, we had a little bit of sound glitch early on, but I assure you, you only missed me speaking. You did not miss our sponsor or the mayor at all. So thank you. We'd like to thank our sponsors once again. Our Tier 2 sponsors include All-American Insurance, the ICOM, Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine, Westmark Credit Union, St. Luke's Health System, ESI Construction, Investment Resources, West Valley Medical Center, Hilton Garden Inn, the First Interstate Bank, and TDS Fiber. I want to give them a round of applause. Thank you. Our Tier 1 sponsors who help support our scholarship gifts this year include Citi, Republic Services, Barron Properties, Sparklight, Idaho Power, the Galaxy Event Center, CapEd Credit Union, Idaho State University, Blue Cross of Idaho, Boise Office Equipment, Select Health, and Idaho Central Credit Union. So thank you very much. And this year, we'd like to give a special thank you to Seneca Hall and her team at Franz Whitty Landscape for bringing a little bit of spring into the auditorium and to our stage this year. So thank you very much to Franz Whitty. And finally, a huge thank you to this year's presenting sponsor, the Village Meridian Center Cal Properties. We really do appreciate all that you do for our community. And Hugh, thank you once again for your friendship. And finally, I would like to please welcome Melissa Enrico with CBH Homes, our reception sponsor, for our closing remarks.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful and proud that you're here. CBH Homes is so grateful for the opportunity to host our reception. After this, we will be offering refreshments, snacks. You can enter to win an iPad, and don't forget to try our 360 camera. Let's roll up those garage doors and let the after party begin. Thank you.